Good morning, everyone. I hope you had safe journeys here. Welcome to the second European Restraint Reduction Network Conference. And we have ahead of us a packed 2 days. I think it's going to be fascinating and thought-provoking. Let me introduce myself first of all. I'm Allison Holt. I'm BBC Social Affairs correspondent. And I'm here as the independent chair for the conference for the next 2 days. So hopefully I'll be seeing you through, guiding you through what happens. And generally speaking, when I'm talking about care in all its forms, I'm dealing with things like policy, funding. And when it comes down to restraint, generally speaking, it's when it's gone wrong. We're talking about the Winterbourne view type of scenario. And in those instances, sadly, what often has happened, whatever the individual may have done, there's been a culture that lies behind it, which has allowed restraint to become a first resort rather than a last resort or avoided. So for me, it is a real privilege being here for the next 2 days because I will be here listening along with you. I'll be learning a huge amount, as I hope everyone will be. And I think it's a chance to share expertise, huge expertise in this room, to discuss what works, what doesn't work, and how things can be changed. So, with no further ado, we are going to hear from Martin Dadds, Managing Director of Crisis Prevention International. He has been key in getting the Restraint Reduction Network up and running here in Europe, and has also been very busy setting this conference up and getting things underway. So here's Martin to welcome you.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you, Allison. My sister Hazel died 2 years ago at the age of 57. Hazel, like many others with learning disabilities and complex needs, died at a much younger age than the majority of people in the population. During Hazel's life, I've seen many examples of excellent, caring and compassionate health, social care and education services from dedicated, hard-working professionals. But sadly, I've also seen some examples of not so good care in each of those sectors. Yes, Hazel's behaviour at times could be very challenging. Shouting, swearing, accusing, damaging property, trying to harm herself. But I question whether some of the restraints she was subjected to were really justified and were truly least restrictive in last resort. And by restraints, I mean chemical restraints, environmental restraints, psychological restraints, anything from bullying because she didn't speak properly, as well as physical restraints. I firmly believe the emotional and physical impact of these restraints on Hazel's health were too often overlooked and underestimated. And yes, I believe in some way they were a contributing factor to her and probably many others' premature deaths. Today and tomorrow, it's all about Hazel and the many individuals like her around the world. And people like you and organisations like the Restraint Reduction Network and CPI who do make a difference every day to their lives and the people in the organisations where so often they are kept. As the world's leading and largest provider of workplace training programs in the management of behaviours that concern and challenge, we at the Crisis Prevention Institute share the same vision and values as the Restraint Reduction Network. We're aiming to deliver restraint-free services and to deliver training that assures the use of coercive and restrictive practice is minimised and the misuse and abuse of restraint is prevented. I hear you say utopian. But unless we start, unless we continue to do the work that's already been done, we'll never get there. And I think we can do it, to use a bit of a catchphrase, one Hazel at a time. It's all about the individual. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of CPI, I'd like to say how honoured and privileged we are to host the Restraint Reduction Network's annual conference. And we wish you all a great 2 days of learning and continued professional development in reducing restraint through policy and practice. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Martin. And now Professor Joy Duxbury, Professor of Mental Health Nursing at the University of Central Lancashire and Chair of the Restraint Reduction Network.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I shan't keep you because I know we're already running slightly behind. So from my point of view, this is an area I'm very passionate about. I think you all clearly know that. We had a fabulous conference last year. I'm sure this one will be equally as successful. And just to say a huge warm welcome from the Restraint Reduction Network. And I look forward to having some great conversations with you over the next 2 days. So have a great time. Thank you.